All right, happy Thursday to you. September 30th here. I wanted to do a video here on some pre-painting and just some of my thinking that I do when I look at a decal sheet and where I need to pre-paint and just how to do that, how I do that, and show you just a couple different cars I'm looking at. So right now I have this 2020. It's a Camaro Xfinity for Justin Allgaier, and it's actually a pretty complicated paint scheme, right? It's got white. I had the white background removed of the decals, and it's got yellow and it's got blue. And so what I decided to do when I was figuring out what color or background I was going to have removed, it was either going to be the yellow or the white. And it's typically easier to paint cars white or black. You get a good match there, and then let the decal be the main color of the car outside of those two white and black colors. That's kind of the way I think typically. That's why if you look at all the cars I've got here, right, they're all white and black. So, but anyways, so looking at this car, I've got yellow here. I've got some seams that I know I'm going to have right here along the roof, and of course all around the windows. And that's typically where I like to look at where I need to pre-paint, is along these windows and the like. So what I have done, and I've actually done this already, as you can see, is I pre-painted around the windows, and in here I didn't do all of this because I'm going to do black along here because of these center B-pillars are black now. So I'll do black here just to make sure that that's covered. And because when I do the windows, right, I always paint the windows, the edges of them black. So this way, and I know what's going to happen with the decal set here, is especially right here, because I'm going to cut along this spot right here, and that way I'll put this in. It'll probably all be one piece, but I'll cut this out, I'll cut it here, and I'll put this in. But inevitably it'll be hard for this piece to come down and connect with this bottom piece, and I'll have a gap there, and that's why I pre-painted that yellow. And it's interesting, and I wish the designs weren't like this, but the design for this is kind of at an angle here, but on the car, right, it's pretty much straight across. So that's what's going to give me the problem, and I'll have to I'll just have a gap here on this front area here for sure. And usually it'll be right here at the bottom underneath where it says 8 for the playoff car. So that's what I've got on this particular car. And then of course on the roof, I'm just preparing for a seam that's going to happen, because I've got this number 7. You can see how huge that is over top of this Camaro, and it's just going to be, it's going to be massive. So I shouldn't have a problem, but in case I do, I wanted to pre-paint it all the way up to this ridge here on both sides. And so yeah, so that's what I did. And I also painted in here, along here, this yellowish gold color here, and then along the inside here, crossed and over. And that's just way there's no white that's going to show through between the black edges of the windshield and the decals. So okay, so yeah, so that's that car, and I'll be getting ready to put and I do that before I put the windows in, and yeah. All right, what else do I have? So let me show you this. So I built one of these earlier, and this is one of these Ryan Blaney 2020. It's a Menards Tarkett car. Now this blue, and this is just from experience, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. So whenever you have the blue lining up with this blue here, right? So this side piece here is gonna tie into the hood, and this side piece here is going to tie into this side. There always seems to be like an edge on it, okay? Like a little, just, I don't know, like a little discolored edge. and I hate it. I just hate it because it's too obvious. You can see it too obvious. So what I do, and I do this when I have a really, really strong paint match to what this color is. Not. I'm cutting this out so I can show you how I'm going to do this. But oops, I kind of cut right through there. On this bottom edge, I'm not too concerned about it because there's no, right, it's just going to be this yellow background that's going to be there. So I'm not too concerned about that. And I'll show you what I'm going to do here in just a second when I cut this out. So I'm going to cut this all the way out. And I've done this for a while. Okay. You can tell just a little bit. See that edge? It looks like it's going to be clear, but there's an edge along this side of the blue. Okay? So let me show you what I got. I have this blue color. It's a Valspar that I bought a while ago to build some 1951 Hudson Hornets, and it's this kind of color. Okay? And so what I do, it's a super match to this Carquette blue that's there. So I shake it up just a little bit, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. You can see where I've painted it before, right here. Let's get a little bit going there. Get my little applicator. Check this out now. Now, of course, this is before I get it all wet. Let me move back over here. And then I just go and I just paint this edge of the decal like so. Voila. And that way, when I line it up here, and I'll do the same with this hood, right? I'll do the same with the hood when I cut it out. When I line that up, that seam will be hidden that much more because I got a nice match on the paint to the decal, and you won't be able to see that seam along there very well. Let's just say it won't be obvious, right? And I'll do the same with this here. And I like to cut it out first, right? I like to cut it out to make sure that I'm no kidding, I have that edge, and then I apply the paint to the edge of the decal. All right? So that is what I do there. And by the way, like I said, I just built one of these. This edge here on this rear bumper, when it matches up here, inevitably it's short. Okay, it doesn't match up. This doesn't stretch all the way across the back of the die-cast body. I don't know if you can tell if I do this. Doesn't quite stretch all the way across. It looks like it does, but in actuality it doesn't because there's some insets along here. I gotta paint that fluorescent yellow yet. But then you try to line it up with the back sides of this, and it doesn't line up. There's a small little tiny gap right along the edge. And so what I'll do is I'll use this blue, and I'll put this in first. I'll actually put it on the car, and then I'll paint it. And then I'll lay in these sides, and that way it'll be seamless all the way around. So, again, a great value of pre-painting is doing that. And I will do the same thing on this Eric Almirola car. Okay, I had the white background removed, and I will pre-paint a few areas, right? I will pre-paint definitely the spoiler, because the spoiler is going to be black, and I'll probably paint along the bottom edge all the way around. I'll make sure that's all black, right? Because I have this all the way around the front. It's all black across the bottom of the car. So So I got my black. It's almost always ready to roll. Yeah, and I'll just go right along this bottom, because it always looks better when you paint first and then lay the decal over it. And it's actually not a very thick along the bottom here, so I can't go too thick or too high, right? But I can go across here like so. You see, Doug, oh, you could do this after you decal. Yeah, you can. There's no doubt about it. You can definitely do it. But again, I'm trying to do what looks best. And from my experience, it's just, if you can do this step first, I think the fit and finish of the car looks that much better when you're done with it. Okay, so yeah, I'll do that all the way around. I'll go around. You know, this is a little bit thicker back here. And I want to go too high, right? So, but I like to make sure I do that. Yeah, and I'll just keep going around. You can see this whole back is black. So I can be a little bit more liberal, because the whole back is getting a full black decal. Not too high there. So yeah, just giving you guys a little flavor of what I'm doing when I build, before I build these things. Let's see. Yeah, so the spoiler, you can see the whole back is black. This trunk lid is all black. And there's black along that comes up to the side on both sides. So that means I can pretty much just, I don't want to say mess around, but I don't have to be all bent out of shape when I paint this, right? I got a lot of room, because everything is going to be decaled around it. So I don't have to worry about painting like a super straight line. When I typically paint the spoilers, right? I usually paint the spoilers. That is one of the times when I don't say I stress, but that is something where you really need to nail painting a straight line when you're painting the spoilers. Again, they're typically black, but you know, they're various other colors. But yeah, because I have the coverage around. I need to go over this a little bit more. Because I have the coverage all around and it's already going to be black, any imperfect lines are going to be hid. Now, I just painted this. So Billy, you can see how your slot's coming along. It's looking pretty good. But I just painted this spoiler red. And so there's no grace. You know, there's no missing this, right? So you have to run, you know, I ran my brush, it was actually my red paint pen, right along here. And, I mean, it's not perfect, but I can't mess that up, right? I can't mess up that spoiler. This blue, it's a different color all the way around. You know, I got to paint that, I just got to paint that perfectly straight across there. So, this car, it's actually nice. It's nice to have that coverage of the decals around the spoiler there. All right, so probably wondering, well, maybe you're not, I don't know. Just a quick review of what I've got going. Like I said, Billy, I've got this spoiler painted now. I'm letting it dry. I've got a couple more coats of clear sealer. I want to put a thicker coat of the Tamiya on it. You'll probably need to be careful, you know, racing the slots, because, you know, unfortunately, you know, the work I'm doing is not, it's not going to stand too many crashes. So, so you got to be careful with that. I'm getting ready to paint the purple on this, and then I'll be able to start decaling that, and that should be done here relatively shortly. Mr. Michael, Mr. MB, you had sent me some decals. I've got this Kyle Busch Musketeers car. I got it painted silver, and I'll apply those decals over top of the silver car. So it's a full wrap, and yeah, so that'll be coming here pretty soon. I'm getting ready to put that together. Decided to do another truck. I want to do this Canac truck, a Raphael Lessard, and I'm going to do it with some white rims this time. So it's a little bit different than what I've done in the past, and so that's just about ready to go. Oh, I was going to say, that's not a NOS car. That's Joey. That's your Smithfield car, and then I'll work on this this NOS car, and I think that's the last two I owe you. So I've already showed this is for Mr. Doug. Travis, this is your beard oil when it comes in. I've got this Tarket Ryan Blaney to do. Got to paint that. And then I wanted to show you guys this. So I wanted to do another monster car. As you may have seen, there's been some Kurt Busch in the news this week because next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. He is doing a special window of hope, and so I decided to try it. So paint the window net a hot pink, and yeah, it'll look like that. Now, yes, this is the car that I drilled out the windshield, or the back window. So what I'm doing here is I'm painting these black. Actually going to paint them, I painted them gloss black after I did some repair work on the window. Then I'll get it all together, and that way when I go to do the tester's dull coat, I'll apply it over the whole thing, including the windows. That's usually one of the hard things, is trying to keep the dull coat off of the gloss windows. But now, since I destroyed this back window, I've tried to repair it, and so I'll just do the whole thing in a matte black, and yeah, so that's my plan there. Yeah, I did this probably, didn't need to, and I detailed the interior. Probably didn't need to because I'm covering it up with the black windows. All right, so how did I do that? So let me show you real quick how I did these windows. So obviously I just used my gloss black paint pen, and I painted the outside of these windows, the edges and the outside. So there's no mystery there. But what I did on fixing this window here that I drilled through. So the first thing I did was I sanded it down. Well, I got it into place as best as I could, and I sanded it down. Actually used a file, and I filed it down, and then I put some of this on it, right, just to kind of get it to stick together. And you can see it's not perfectly flat. Not perfectly flat. You can see the glue in there in the window a little bit, but it's not bad. It's about as best as I could fix that. But yeah, there was no way I was going to leave it without trying to leave it clear, because it would not have stayed. It would not have looked anywhere near good. I did look at some of my spare parts. I didn't have any windows that would fit into there, so I figured, okay, I'm going to just go ahead and use this. So that's what I've done. And so after I got, actually I think it was a couple nights, I put this on there, let it sit overnight, let it dry, sanded it down, put another coat on, and it's as smooth as I think I could get it. And then I painted it. I put that decal on it a little bit ago, and so now I'm ready to reassemble And so, yeah, let's do that right now, actually. As I was waiting, I kind of decaled the car, painted and decaled the car. So I don't normally do that, but decided to do that in this case. So yeah, this was that Matt Kenseth McDelivery that is now going to be a Kurt Busch Window of Hope car. Come on. There we go. Yeah. Not the smoothest, but it's about the best as I could do with it. Let's get this in here. Okay. Yeah, I'm using a decal set from one of those Las Vegas wins. And so it's not going to be a perfect match to what he drives at the Charlotte Roval when he actually drives this car. I'll get a little bit more glue on here just to make sure that that on the back end is good. Glue around this thing. Make sure that doesn't go anywhere. Okay. A little bit extra on the top. Okay. So yeah, so that is now going to let that dry. Nothing fancy on this car. I just used my, let's see, where is it? I had to stir it up pretty good because I haven't used it in a while. But I just used this fluorescent pink and ended up putting 2 coats on it to get it nice and thick. Yeah, so that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. I am not 100% sure. I may, well, yeah, I don't know. I may put this in a box. Yeah, I probably will. I'll probably put this in a box, and I'll use this, and I'll do a painted black box, and I'll list it up on eBay, and probably do that here this weekend. We'll see. We'll see when I get it done. I'd actually like to list it and possibly have it end like Sunday night, so that it ends the day of the race, and so yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool. See what the bids get up to. I haven't done too many auctions on eBay lately, so that'll be kind of cool. But yeah, wanted to do that when I saw that. I think that's for a great cause and just a really neat thing, and it's it's pretty simple, right? When I'm building a car, I just, instead of painting it black, painted the whole thing fluorescent pink. And yeah, so his monster cars you can't find too often in this scale. So hopefully that'll be a fun and cool paint scheme to make. I had to actually buy, moving on to the very last topic, Sedaris. I know you wanted this COT, DirecTV COT from Clint Boyer. I checked, I didn't have any Chevy COTs at all. I've got some Fords and I had some Toyotas, but I don't have any Chevys. So I bought a couple of them off of eBay, and they came in the mail yesterday. So I'll be able to get this into the hopper for you, and I'll be able to match that up with the Kurt Busch Las Vegas Win car that you also wanted, and I'll get those two out to you when I get this Clinton Boyer DirecTV COT done for you. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Hope this has been helpful to you on the pre-painting, some of the things that I do, and some of the techniques that I do. And you guys have a blessed day, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.